Hi, this is Becca.
And this is Kyla, and you are listening to Chatterbox.
Before we jump into today's episode, I just want to take a quick moment to ask for your support. If you enjoy the content that we're creating here, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to our channels. Your engagement really helps us to grow and reach more people who are looking for open, honest conversations about things of this matter that we are going to be discussing today, especially. We are attempting to build a community of free thinkers who are open to exploring new ideas and questioning the world around us, and we would love for you to be part of it. So if you believe in the values of these discussions, please share this with someone who might find this stuff interesting and help keep this movement alive. Thanks for being here, and let's dive into Chatterbox. Let's get chatty. In today's episode, we're diving into a topic that has sparked endless debates and speculation about Hollywood and the elites and the mysterious surroundings of some very tragic events a lot of us have lived through and experienced, and there's just so much to talk about here today. So not all of these claims have been verified, though. So keep in mind that this episode is about exploring different perspectives and asking questions that remain unanswered. While I won't claim to have all of the answers, I do think it's important to talk about these subjects to the understanding that there is a bigger picture here. So we're basically going to look at some bizarre and unexplainable events and the elements, I guess, behind them. Quick disclaimer. The topics discussed in today's episode are based on public information that is available to anybody. These are theories and reports that have been widely discussed in the media and various circles. Please note that the views expressed here are speculative and meant for discussion purposes only. This podcast is not making any definitive claims or accusations, but rather exploring unanswered questions and controversial subjects from a very critical perspective. So always do your own research and approach these topics with an open mind. We are not here to accuse anyone, but we are rather trying to ask questions about strange deaths that have occurred in Hollywood and explore the connections that have been suggested. So before we dive into this very heavy, sensitive topic for the day, I want to remind you that, these theories have been raised in many different circles, and they're not definitive claims. And there's a lot of speculation, obviously. We're going to be exploring the mysterious deaths of several Hollywood figures, including the tragic deaths of Brittany Murphy, Isaac Kappy, Prince, Marilyn Monroe is one of them as well. That's who we're going to start with. These events have sparked a lot of debate, and there are some suggesting material that might be on the darker side of the entertainment industry. But of course, with any topic like this, it's important to approach this discussion very responsibly and with an open mind. We do know that these deaths raise a lot of questions, and some of the theories surrounding them are very unsettling. But remember that these are just theories. And I am a firm believer in innocent until proven guilty in the court of law. So while looking in the facts, we can verify and ask questions about anything that you may have questions about. And I encourage you, if you have any questions, please leave them in the comments and we will answer them when we can get to them. So with that in mind, let's do like a quick little theory, I guess. So some believe that the Hollywood industry operates in a way that pressures individuals to conform or face serious consequences if they do not conform, although these claims have never been proven. There are many allegations about the corruptions in Hollywood, but it is important to remember that everyone involved in the stories that we're going to be talking about today, especially the theories that we are talking about, are conspiracies only. So a lot of this stuff has not been proven. So we're going to be using words like allegedly, and we're basically just going to leave this topic as an open discussion, okay? So for our first very intriguing celebrity death, we're going to talk about Marilyn Monroe. So one of the most talked aspects about Marilyn Monroe's life and the ongoing death and speculation about her connections to President John F. Kennedy and the CIA. Marilyn Monroe was reportedly involved with JFK, and this became a focal point of the conspiracies after her tragic death in 1962. While the official cause was ruled as a probable overdose, many have questioned the circumstances surrounding her passing. Some theorists believe that her relationship with JFK, combined with her possible knowledge of sensitive government information, may have played a significant role in her death, and there's speculation that she could have been silenced to prevent any potential exposure of secrets. And this is possibly tied to the political power struggles of the covert operations of the CIA. And it's important to note that these theories are based on allegations and circumstantial evidence. There is no conclusive proof to support such claims. I most definitely find Marilyn Monroe's death very mysterious.
You know, she had a relationship with one of the other Kennedy brothers.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
So I think she just got a little too close with both of them because I think he was more involved with, like, military, and he was, like, you know what I mean? So, like, I don't know, she definitely might have known too much. I think that's what it is.
Possibly. It's possibly what it is. And see, many figures in history that were associated with Marilyn Monroe's life and death, they even say that they lack definitive answers. They don't understand why she would have died in such a prime time in her life and career. Was her death truly the result of an overdose, or was it something more sinister? We may never know, because with the connections to JFK and the CIA, and her status being such an iconic figure in American culture, I feel like unless the CIA releases a document that maybe says that they know exactly what happened, I don't feel like we're ever going to find out what happened.
And I don't really know, not, like, and I don't even know if he would have been the one to have do it. I don't think he would have been the one to do it. It would have been obviously someone within the government, because also that goes within the theory of, you know, allegedly the U.S. being the ones to get rid of JFK. And I just saw someone make a video about it on TikTok, and this is what's made me think about it. This guy, he literally verbatimly said it on TikTok, like, there's been videos about JFK knowing his death was coming, type of thing. So I don't think potentially he would have been the one to do it, but maybe Robert or someone else. Like, because also jealousy played a lot of factor into that, because I think she favored JFK over Robert. So I don't know. That could also be played of jealousy, but I don't know.
Okay, this is not even alleged. This is a true statement that I'm about to say. There are CIA documents that say that Marilyn Monroe was being investigated. That she was being investigated by the CIA to know what her involvement was specifically with JFK. So she was actively being investigated.
Probably because, you know, they kept eyes on him at all times. So if you're with someone that is being kept eyes on, you are as well. So she probably didn't realize how much she had to worry, because he was so heavily, I don't know, you know, allegedly, just the way he viewed things were so different.
And yeah, because he was one of the first presidents who was, I think he was one of the youngest presidents. And he was also somebody who was speaking out about things, about disclosure with aliens and stuff.
I think they was, like, basically saying things that he might have not been supposed to. That would have been too much for the public eye, allegedly, possibly, right? But, like, he basically knew his death was coming, like, because he knew that he wasn't about away, you know.
He wasn't about hiding information from the public, such as what the government has been doing our whole lives.
And you know, possibly to prevent other people from, you know, freaking out, because the public doesn't always react so well to things. So, but some people do. I feel like the more we could hear things that aren't so easy to hear, the more we could be easier to hear of them over time. Like, obviously, maybe the first couple of times, people that are more likely to freak out are going to freak out. But, like, when you close you off to so much information, over time, obviously, hearing such things can be like, oh my god.
So I'm gonna call, I guess I'm not gonna say that by name, but it's somebody from my work, and I've made jokes in passing about aliens. Okay, so like just as a joke, like I've just been like, you know, I was listening to something at work and I was watching a video, and he goes, "What is that video about?" And I said, "Aliens," and he goes, "Oh my god, you're one of those people." And I said, "What do you mean I'm one of those people?" And
No,
he's
you're
like,
one of those people.
"Yeah," and he goes, "I don't believe in aliens." I'm like, why would you not be open to believing that we are not alone in the universe? Do you really think that we're alone? And he goes, I don't think that we're alone. He said, there's probably another planet of like other humans out there.
But they're aliens because they're on another planet, even if they're humans.
Yeah, well,
Motherfucker.
I tried to say that too, and he goes,
because they're from another planet. They're alien to us. Like, they're unknown. They're an unknown person. They have different. They're probably very different.
Well, okay, just like the movie Alien, which was like a 3-part series which started in like I think the 1980s, I'm pretty sure. I think that it was in like 1981 or 82. The one with Sigourney Weaver and whatever.
Maybe.
Are you serious?
Let me see the cover. I'm being honest. And if I have, I don't remember. I'm serious. I'm a movie buff too, and I'm serious.
This movie right here. The cover of it. You've not seen that movie?
Oh, Alien versus Predator?
Well, that's the second one, I think.
I've seen one of them.
But you haven't seen the first one?
If I have, I don't remember.
Okay.
Personally, it's been. I would not remember what it's about, or obviously it's about fucking aliens, but I would not remember now because it's been a while.
So this is one of the most classic horror movies that you can even find out there. Like it's such a good movie, but basically it's about how they find this species of alien that it's not human, but it's more of like an animal, and this animal can basically harvest babies inside of you and then grow, like it uses your body as a host, I guess, for their babies. And the thing is even though the movie is very, very well done and just, it's literally one of the best horror movies out there. It's so good. And I feel like that movie was almost like a subliminal messaging to the public that there are unknown species out there and they are not friendly.
Well, it's just like, I think in one of the other podcasts I mentioned something about where the Greens are trying to mate with humans to save their race. And it's not been successful. So I don't know if, like, when you said that, it made me think of that again. So
I do believe that there's probably multiple different kinds of species of aliens.
And that's they're referring to one specific species of alien, because, and then when they were talking about it in this video on TikTok, this was on TikTok. I've said this before on a video on TikTok. There were other types of species of aliens and the Cenozoians. I don't remember the names of the other alien types, but there were other types of species of alien. So yeah, I mean,
I believe that they are out there. I feel like there's some that are probably on Earth now that can disguise themselves to look like us, because literally you can actually look this up on Amazon. There's a book that is it's called like something like the Extraterrestrial Encyclopedia. I really want this book, but it's also like, it's like $45 or some shit, so it's not like a cheap book. But it basically shows you all of the speculated species of aliens that there are, and it has pictures. It says where they're from, because like there's the Pleiadians, there's the Greys, there's the Greens, there's the Reptilians. There's just so many.
Like, what was it, the Centoids or something? What was that?
Centaurian or something.
That's the one of the ones I heard in the video as well. I don't exactly remember the names, but yeah, there's different species of alien. But they could potentially look like, not exactly like us, but have characteristics like we just don't know.
Yeah, it's all speculative. It's all, I know, for some people this is fun and games. They think this is hilarious and they're just like, I can't believe that you would believe in aliens.
But it just doesn't make sense. We are in one galaxy of many galaxies, and it just doesn't make any sense to think that there aren't other types of species that look, not everything should look like us. There has to be things that look different, are different, live different than us, you know? I mean, it's, as much as it's to our naked, like, we can't see it, I don't know.
I'm very open-minded on the subject. I'm not saying that I definitively have proof that these things exist. What I'm saying is
we
that
have no proof. It's just
I'm open-minded on the subject, and I feel like there's no way that is in this entire universe, in this entire multiverse of universes, that there's just us. Like that is just.
That's my proof, is that there's no fucking way. My brain just can't fathom it. Like, that's the proof, is that my brain's like, yeah, no way.
And I know that JFK, before he died, was trying to give some sort of disclosure, but that wasn't allowed to happen. They didn't want that. And during the 60s, it was very, very publicized about aliens. So there was a lot of comics, books, movies being done about aliens. It was just like a big like alien boom. Like everybody was talking about it and whatever. There were photographs of alien crashes or aliens in the sky with very primitive cameras. And I just feel like the association with JFK's passing possibly had to do with that, and maybe trying to reveal too much of what the CIA or just the government itself did not want him to reveal. And maybe possibly speculatory, allegedly, we're saying that maybe JFK had revealed some of this information to Marilyn Monroe. So we said all of that to say it's very possible, but it's all alleged, so we don't know. So we have to use the correct words, because free speech is not free. We have to skirt around the issue. We have to use words that we wouldn't normally use, because we will be censored on this platform otherwise. So just putting it out there, free speech is not free. So now we're going to go on to the next mysterious death. This one really hit me because I think I was in middle school when I found out about this. I loved her. Brittany Murphy.
I loved her too.
I watched all of her.
I loved when she was in Happy Feet. She was saying so good, dude. I love Happy Feet so much. Oh my god, and then Pink was in it.
Oh, I know. I loved that movie. That was one of my favorite movies.
They are one of my favorite movies.
I watched it like a month or two ago. I can't remember. Time
I love the songs they sing. I'll sing them.
I always forget how good they are. When I was watching, I was like, damn. I should listen to the soundtrack. They're better than
the original sometimes.
They are. They're so good.
It's just like Glee, or like
I loved Glee.
It's like the mixture. It's like, it's not really like Glee, but it's like they re-sing them, but they're better. But you got like Pink and Brittany Murphy singing them, and then some random dude.
She's such a talented
actor. Well, I lost my man. I could die.
Kyla's gonna sing the whole soundtrack real quick. Hold on.
I could, and I could do the whole Aladdin soundtrack.
Dancing too.
Oh yeah.
Be dancing like I used to be like, Mom, watch this.
Did you see people do the reenactment of the Drake this song with Kendrick Lamar with penguins, like, wanna be ho, and they're using the penguins from Happy Feet?
Oh my god, speaking of that, really quick before we get back into Brittany Murphy. Sorry, just trying to lighten the mood, but this was so funny. So, at work the other day, I was so serious and I said, what time are we getting out of work today? Because I have a tattoo appointment after work. And he was like, oh, that's cool. What are you getting? And I was like, I'm going to get Drake on one of my calves doing like a kissy face. And then I'm going to get Kendrick on my other calf doing a kissy face. So then when I put my legs together, that it looks like they're kissing. And he goes, are you fucking serious? And I was like, no.
You should have said, yeah.
Did you just fucking come up with that on the fly? And I'm like, yeah. He's like, he gave me a high five. He's like, that was good. He's like, you totally got it.
He said, I did this tattoo. Do you like it? And it was a picture of a lion tattoo. And it was really bad.
Oh, God.
And it wasn't really bad. It actually wasn't awful, but it was like not what you would want on your body.
Oh, God.
And I was like, yeah, it's good. It's good. Like, it's not that bad. He's like, yeah, I'm about to do another. He's like, I could do one for you and your man. Like,
Oh, God.
I'm like, I don't really want any tattoos. And he's like, no, I'm just fucking with you. I just send that to people to see what they say. And I'm like, I was like, picture was familiar, and it's like, I guess it's like a picture that's like online.
That's so fucking funny.
Yeah, I should be like, that fucking sucks. He just went straight up like, damn, you suck. You did that on. He's like, yeah, I did that on my girl's back. I'm like,
that is so. That's a really good conversation starter. Be like, look, I just did this on my shoulder the other day. Like,
and you're like, oh, that's really good. Like, you don't want to hurt their feelings because they did it, but then he ended up fucking with me. He got me good. Like,
you know, there's this guy at my work also who just got the on his wrist. He got 999 tattooed, and I said I already have 333 tattooed on my neck, and I said I really want to get 444, and he goes, I want to get 444, and I'm like, huh. I'm like, do you want to go get it together at the same time? Oh my God, that's true. I wish we could show this picture. We'll have to, like, if you guys really want to know, we'll have to put it in the comments. And holy shit. Okay, before we get back into Brittany Murphy, I have to address this because we were supposed to do this at the beginning and I totally forgot. So we had some questions. Somebody sent this to me in like Facebook Messenger, and they said, what happened with Kyla and the cruise? What happened with that? Did she win? Kyla, did you win?
no. I would have probably talked more about it if I won. I was waiting. I looked for days after, thinking, hoping it was me and they were joking, but yeah, other people won. But I'm happy for them. I'm happy for them. But I did not win, but that's okay because I'm still going to go on a cruise.
Yeah, she'll win the next one.
I will. I will win the next one.
But yeah, I just wanted to say that because we said, oh, we'll give an update next week, and it's been like 2 or 3 weeks. So yeah, she didn't get it, and then I went to a job interview, and I didn't get the job, but I literally just found out about that last week, actually.
Okay, because
it's fine.
It wasn't meant to be.
It wasn't meant to be for that position, but
because you have other positions.
So basically, I'm going to apply next week for this new position, and I hope I get it, so I'll have to give you an update on if I get it. Because it's a 4-day-a-week schedule, so I would be working like Sunday through Wednesday. So I would be, apparently, a 4-day-a-week schedule means that you're only at work 51% of the year. So commute to work is less, like, you're not at your job as much. You have 3 days off.
Like that.
I'm manifesting it. I'm going to get this job because the boss actually reached out to me and said, I was so impressed with your interview, and I'm so sorry that you didn't get the position. But I am posting another one, and I really want you to apply. I would love to have you on our team. And I'm just thinking. So I feel like that's a really good sign. So.
That was a good sign.
Yes. So there are some quick updates, but we need to get back to the Brittany Murphy. We didn't even get into it. So now we're going to get into our mysterious death of Brittany Murphy. The death of Brittany Murphy, a very talented actress and singer, who passed away suddenly in 2009, was dead at the age of 32, and this remains one of Hollywood's most shocking and mysterious tragedies. Officially, her death was ruled as a combination of pneumonia, anemia, and multiple drug intoxication, in circumstances that felt kind of odd is cutting that out. There were many odd circumstances surrounding her death, and she maintained a very healthy appearance before her death. She looked fine. I mean, the death at the age of 32, like, that's just...
Wasn't it cold or something? Pneumonia?
Pneumonia is one of them, yes. So it was pneumonia, anemia, and multiple drug intoxication. That was the cause of death on her death record. And what really fueled speculations and conspiracy theories were the strange circumstances surrounding the subsequent death of her husband, Simon Monjack. This was just months later. Both died in very similar ways at home under what felt like many were saying that they were very suspicious circumstances, that they both died in similar ways at home. These theories suggest that the pair might have died from something that was more than just natural causes, possibly something linked to the environment that they were living in under the pressure of Hollywood's darker side. Allegedly.
I wonder like what the husband's involvement was, because
Everybody was saying that he was so much older than her and that he didn't even have the same personality as her. She was like so outgoing and everything, and then he was very introverted and very like kept to himself. But I really truly feel like opposites attract in a way, and maybe that's why they stayed together. This is something I'm just comparing here. Dolly Parton, huge cultural influence. Her husband, never been in the limelight. Apparently, Dolly Parton's husband only attended one red carpet with her in her whole life. And he goes, "Honey, I love you, but I cannot do this spotlight thing. It is not for me." And everybody has different preferences because I I love to go to parties and stuff, but I don't want to be the center of attention at a party. Like that's something that I like to be in the background at a party. I don't want to be the person standing on the tables and twerking. Like, you know what I mean? Like that's just not my vibe. Like
a video recently.
basically, there have been many claims that both deaths there have been many claims that both of their deaths could be connected to toxicity, both possible from environmental factors of substances that they were exposed to, and others have speculated that there is a way more sinister cause. And this sinister cause is something that has plagued Hollywood stars in many similar situations.
Yeah, I've some things with Brittany Murphy. I don't know exactly. Like she was like really close with Ashton Kutcher, and he has like some foundation or something for like children and crap, and so it just goes deep. And then who was Ashton? There was another person that Ashton Kutcher was close with that she was also close with that. But yeah, so she had relations to specific people also as well. So I don't know.
I'm trying to find the company that he owns. Ashton Kutcher did date her.
Yeah, Ashton Kutcher dated her. He dated her, but like they also had affiliations with like Diddy. So
How long did they date?
I know they dated, and basically there could be things that pointed because there's other people that have died in the same way that she had passed, basically. So like, I think it was like Kim Porter, the same death as Brittany did.
Yeah, basically.
Like,
I don't think that she had multiple drug intoxication, but she did die of pneumonia.
Yeah, and that was the main reason of death. I think like that was like really what I've remembered whenever I used to like look into all that crap.
Ashton Kutcher co-founded Thorn, a nonprofit that fights child sexual abuse and human trafficking. Kutcher resigned from his role from the board in September of 2023 after receiving criticism for his support for Danny Masterson, which is co-star for That 70s Show, which I loved that show. I still can watch that and I'm just like, damn, like that takes me back to childhood. Watching That 70s Show. I used to sneak watching that show, and my mom would be like, "You can't watch this." And I'd be like, "Why?" She said, "Because it has sexual innuendos in it." I'm like, I'm freaking 12 years old. Like, I know what sexual innuendos is. Like, I would have to sneak watching this show. I loved that show.
I did like that show.
I watched all of it a few years ago again, back when I had Peacock, because I think that's the only thing it was on. But then
I got the Cock Peak.
Well, Peacock started adding more ads, and instead of 90-second ads, it would be like 2-minute ads. And it would be like 2 or 3 times throughout the show. And I'm like, I'm not paying $12 a month for this because I was only paying for like the $5
The basic
version.
one.
Yeah. Because Peacock used to be free, and then they were like, oh shit, so many people using this app, we gotta get some money.
And I've just like kind of remembered something. So with the whole pneumonia thing, there is like theory and or proof that baby oil can cause pneumonia if ingested, like inhaled. So
Really?
yes. And I like okay, so I have looked up and seen so many videos that I would need certain things to like spark my brain to remember these things. And
yes, it is true. Inhaling baby oil can cause pneumonia, according to the Google.
and if like and that made me remember people talking about it online, and you know, it might have been an accident and they fucked up. Who knows? Like, I don't really know because all this Diddy speculation with like baby oil and drugs and being like, you know, hallucination and allegedly, and people, well, not really allegedly now because there's freaking dang,
There's witnesses out there, yeah.
that's huge, like, what is it called? Oh my god, I can't even talk. Court cases, there's lawsuits, there's hundreds of them. And it just messes with me because a lot of stuff wasn't as censored back then, and it wasn't as hidden, and it was kind of in your faces more then than it was now.
Oh,
like,
for
because
sure.
it was kind of like a mockery. But with her, like, I don't really know if they did it on purpose and they knew that it could cause her to die. You know what I mean? Because
she looked very healthy before her death. Like, she
I know,
looked
maybe
healthy.
she knew too much. Maybe she didn't agree with things. Maybe she figured things out. Who knows? But like, I don't know. But there is other ways to get pneumonia. You don't just get pneumonia from
being sick.
yeah, so you just think about that. Yeah. So I just saw something and then I thought about that. So,
well, despite all of the theories, there is no definitive evidence. Restarting. Despite all of the theories, there is no definitive evidence that links Murphy's death to any foul play, and many of these speculations remain just conspiracies. We have to say that, or else
people don't say that in their videos all the time, though. Like in like TikTok videos, is it not censored on TikTok?
It's not as censored on TikTok. So YouTube and TikTok, you know, they're both different platforms. They're owned by different people. Yeah. They're censored in different ways. Okay. So what I have been learning is...
Okay, this is also learning for me, so I'm curious.
So apparently there are specific words that you cannot say. It's messed up.
It's fucking crazy.
Yeah, free speech is not free.
It's just crazy because, like, we've already said it, and we have... You motherfuckers... Fuck you. I'm just kidding.
Yeah,
love you.
Somebody reported my video on TikTok the other day, and I literally showed Kyla the video. There was nothing in the video that said a word. It
didn't make no sense.
It didn't say a word that was wrong. It had 2 questions in it, and then there was a scene from Monsters, Inc. where he said, I'll kidnap 1,000 children before I let this company die.
I'm just seeing today how Monsters, Inc. could potentially be, like, linked to, like... I don't know. I just feel like I see many movies and many things that could make you speculate that where are you getting these images? Where are you getting these ideas from? And then when you can actually put them in a different perspective, like, I never once would have thought that Monsters, Inc. would be, like...
something terrible.
Like the Adrenochrome thing type
the
shit.
Adrenochrome.
Like, basically, like, sucking that shit out of you. Like, I don't know. That's fucked up.
Adrenochrome is something that we are going to talk about towards the end of this episode, but before we can get to that, we kind of have to go through all of these.
What I saw today, and that's what Monsters, Inc. someone related it to, so it's kind of freaking weird.
Yeah, and like the fact is, like, I posted this video, it was doing so well. Like, I'm not even kidding, in like less than 5 minutes, I think I already had like 25 likes, and that's kind of like really fast for me. And I was getting a lot of views, I was having a lot of people share the video, and then literally it said that somebody reported my video for misinformation.
It might even have been someone on the mainstream. Might have been the app itself. Because now we can tell that TikTok is more regulated.
It is censored now since it's been back.
It's definitely different because
it's weird.
I can't even search specific things anymore on TikTok like I would have been able to before.
I put hashtag Adrenochrome under that video, and before it was taken down, I got a notification saying, this is your first warning.
Maybe it was the hashtag.
That's what it said. It said, this is your first warning. Hashtag Adrenochrome has been removed. You are not allowed to use that. And then 5 minutes later, then my video was reported, and then they said, this video violates our community guidelines. You are now on your first strike.
Because maybe in a sense they were like, oh, she's insinuating. But it doesn't make sense because there's way more uncensored videos out on TikTok. There are so many videos. Like, I could go look up one topic. Like I said, there's some that I can't look up, but if you look it up, I guess, in a different way. Or you look up a person that knows about it and talks about it. There's another way to figure it out. But some of it you can't even look up anymore like you would think.
Yeah, whoever reported my video, I have a finger for you.
It's the government, and fuck you, government. I'm just kidding. Someone or something.
They said that someone reported my video, and that's how they found it.
But they
True, the algorithm could have found it, yeah.
They want you to think that.
Well, anyways,
they don't.
Still
it's
very
just another thing is
that.
They want to point fingers at someone else rather than themselves, because now that there's someone else in control of TikTok.
Yeah, whoever the fuck it is, because we can't figure it out.
I know people talked about how TikTok is different.
Oh, it is, absolutely. And sorry, back to Brittany Murphy. This is kind of the end here, but as we reflect on her life and death, the question remains, was it simply a series of health-related issues? Or was there something more behind her sudden death? We may never know for sure, but the mystery of her death continues to intrigue and haunt those who remember her. So, that's really all we have to say about Brittany Murphy. Her death was very tragic. I remember when it happened. I remember I was so sad. I just couldn't believe that somebody so young and healthy and vibrant could just die so suddenly. But it's not like she was the first one. Next, we are going to go into Prince's death. Now, this case has interested me as long as I can remember. Like, once his death occurred, I really started looking into it. I could not believe it. So, Prince's death in 2016 shocked the whole world, leaving fans and the music industry basically mourning this groundbreaking musician's death, and his unconventional approach to his career and his outspoken personality really inspired millions of people to, whether it's making music or art or dancing or whatever. Prince was very inspirational, and his untimely death raised a lot of questions. And officially, his passing was attributed to an accidental overdose of fentanyl, which is a very powerful opioid. But many fans and conspiracy theorists believe that there is more to this story. One of the most intriguing aspects of Prince's public life was his vocal stance on various controversial topics. And in 2009, during an interview on the Tavis Smiley Show, Prince famously spoke out about chemtrails, an issue at the time was gaining attention in alternative circles. And he described chemtrails as a form of mind control, suggesting that the government may be manipulating the weather and using specific substances to affect people's thoughts, behavior, and their health in general. And this interview sparked intense reactions. Some people were shocked by Prince's willingness to speak out about such a controversial issue. Others saw it as a reflection of his deep concern about societal manipulation, and his remarks about chemtrails added to the growing number of theories surrounding both environmental issues and potential abuse of power by government agencies. And something that he was saying in these interviews was, he said, "Why do you think that I don't live in certain places? Just because I'm rich? I don't want to be where they spray those chemtrails." He was like, "Why do you think that, you're having a good day, things are going well for you?" And obviously I'm paraphrasing, I'm not speaking verbatim here. But he said, your neighbors, they're getting along, and, or you and your partner, and then all of a sudden you go outside and you guys start arguing and fighting. He's like, "Don't you think that maybe it might be something in the air that's affecting your brain?"
I thought it was more like weather too, but yeah, I believe that there are chemicals that they release to affect you, and you don't realize it. There's like MK Ultra, and there's all kinds of brainwashing theories out there, so it's just on the spectrum of who knows what the really fuck is going on and what they're doing to us.
Mm-hmm.
That's what's scary.
So this interview was in 2009, okay?
Scary.
Fast forward to 2016, Prince's sudden and unexplained death led to the speculation that his passing was somehow linked to his outspoken views on these types of topics. Could his untimely death have been a result of something sinister? Perhaps even connected to topics he was speaking out against?
I think Michael Jackson did it too. He like talked about things like certain people. So, I mean, it just kind of all lines up when people start to say things you never, I don't know, they get too comfortable. They think, okay, I can't be touched. So.
And while there is no concrete evidence to support these claims, the coincidence of his passing after his outspoken comments has led to a great deal of speculation. And with many high-profile deaths, especially those individuals who speak out about controversial topics, there are always going to be questions that remain unanswered. Was his death an unfortunate accident, or is there something more at play here? Theories and questions like these continue to fuel mysteries around Prince's life and legacy, and many of his fans remain shrouded in uncertainty about his death. We have one more death that we are going to cover. This one is not a very high-profile case. I was following Isaac Kappy at the time before his death, and I was seeing these videos while I was in college, and I just remember thinking something bad's gonna happen to this guy, and something did. And I did not see the live stream, which has been taken down from YouTube and from Instagram, and you can't find it on Google either. I was able to find it on an alternative searching platform, and I was basically able to see what he talked about. And I am going to do a brief disclaimer before we get into this next discussion, because his death is going to be a gateway into something else. So we are talking about some very serious allegations involving high-profile figures in Hollywood, and some of these accusations include abuse and or exploitation of children. And it's important to note here that these unproven claims have not been substantiated by any official investigation. And our goal here is not to accuse anyone. We do not want to be unjust. We want to just explore these allegations critically and with an open mind. One of the most controversial figures in this story is Isaac Kappy. Isaac Kappy is an actor who briefly worked in Hollywood. He became known for making some very shocking claims about some of the most powerful people in the industry. Some of the names he says are Tom Hanks, he includes Seth Green, and as we know, with these serious accusations, there is again no evidence to support them. So it is very important to acknowledge that Tom Hanks himself has denied these accusations, and no official investigation has been launched in connection to these claims. So when discussing this, we have to be very careful, because these are unverified allegations. This is all hearsay, but it's on the internet if you want to find it. So in 2019, Isaac Kappy, an actor and self-proclaimed whistleblower, died in an incident that raised a lot of questions. Officially, his death was ruled as a suicide, with authorities stating that he jumped from a bypass bridge over a highway in Arizona. However, Kappy's death quickly became the subject of intense speculation due to his public statements in the years leading up to his death. In particular, Kappy gained attention when he began making increasingly bold claims about Hollywood's elites and their involvement in dark conspiratorial activities. And he openly accused certain high-profile individuals of being involved in what he referred to as child trafficking rings and other criminal activities. And these accusations, along with his frequent mentions of the topics like Pizzagate, led many people to wonder if his death was connected to the information that he had been trying to expose. Kappy's association with Pizzagate is a very controversial yet widely debunked conspiracy theory that claims that prominent politicians and celebrities were and are involved in child trafficking that runs out of a Washington, D.C. pizzeria, which was named Comet's Ping Pong. And some believe that Cappy's death may have been a result of him knowing too much and speaking out against these powerful people. And of course, there's no direct evidence to support those claims, but Cappy's death combined with his public statements continue to raise very uncomfortable questions. This brings us to the broader discussion of Pizzagate. Do you know about Pizzagate?
Yes, I do. Unfortunately, I do. Actually.
It's awful.
I actually went and seen Epstein Island when I went on my cruise. Did I tell you about that?
You went there?
Well, not, okay, I'm sorry. I didn't go there. I seen the island. Like, I was kayaking on an excursion on my cruise in St. Thomas, and they pointed out, like, you could see the flags and the two palm trees that were brought there.
Oh my god.
And, like, the tour guide said basically that the island was sold. A very rich local actually bought the island, and they said, hopefully locals can now go on that island because they were never allowed to go on that island. So they're like, hopefully future, like, people can go on that island because it was just never allowed. So it was kind of crazy because we're kayaking. I look over and there it is.
Honestly, with all the dark energy that's associated with
Isn't that
that
crazy?
island, I don't know if I would ever want to go there because I would be feeling that energy.
I was far away. I wasn't like right up next to it or anything.
Yeah,
but, like, you could just don't go kayaking on that excursion and you'll be all right.
I'm just saying that, like, I don't know if I would be like, yeah, I want to go to Epstein Island and whatever, because I feel, because me as an empath, I'm just saying that, like,
For
I feel like if I
sure.
went on that island,
Especially if you know seeing things.
I would just be, like, feeling that weird energy, you know what I mean? Like, some bad shit happened on that
I
island.
would feel it too. It's just like,
It would just be
sorry,
dark and heavy. Yeah, they need to freaking sage that whole island, get all that negative energy out of there.
So, repurpose that island to do good. You know what I mean? Hopefully that's what they'll do, and hopefully they'll send a shaman to replenish the energy of that island, because I don't know, either just wash that bitch away, if not, because like you said, that energy there is just too bad.
Oh yeah, it's dark.
Too many bad things have happened.
Well, when it comes to Pizzagate, which, I mean, yes, there is kind of associations to Epstein here. I guess more like the people involved in Pizzagate had associations with Epstein.
him, and he had a place
And
of personal interest for a lot of people, I think, is what it was.
So this is something that I just want to say really quick. Birds of a feather flock together, right?
Okay.
Why would some of these figures have connections to somebody who was so evil? Like,
what other people? I remember, was it Bill Clinton? What kind of, isn't there like certain presidents that we heard that went to that island and other people?
RFK went to the island, Trump went to the island, and both Clintons went to the island. There's also multiple actors, and the full list is, I think it's 254 people. But apparently, there's somebody on TikTok who said under one of my videos, he goes, that's not the full list. And I said, I know. Google is highly censored and monitored. So, and he said, I guarantee you that some of these people paid off the government to not be on that list. And I said, oh, absolutely.
Like, oh, for sure. I mean, money is everything. I mean, I don't know. I think that, like, money is power. So you can hide stuff. Basically, our world is, like, it's a cover. It's, there's a veil. Like, we all are very censored with everything. And this is like the new age where we're starting to see things for different. Everybody's able to communicate and connect in ways that they were never able to. So I think there are a lot of people that realize what is going on, but there's also a lot of people that still are not in the know. And that's where we are divided.
Oh, yeah.
And that's what they want, is to divide.
Mm-hmm.
And that is, we're stronger together. We're stronger together. So just always remember that you're always going to be stronger with the other person, not against them, because that's, at the end of the day, that's their goal, I think. This is my opinion, okay?
Mm-hmm.
I don't have any fact. This is me talking out of my brain like I do every day to people. I would be saying this to somebody else at work right now, okay?
Yeah. See, this is all conspiratorial, and again, we are not allegedly putting these people in verifiable. We're not saying this is 100% verified.
I'm not a fucking reporter.
Yeah, we're just speculating here. So the point of this podcast is to spark discussion and debate. Okay.
Yeah, tell me how you really feel.
Yeah. So the theory of Pizzagate alleges that there are certain powerful elites who are involved in running a global child trafficking ring with connections to the political elite and high-profile individuals in entertainment. And despite widespread debunking by authorities and independent investigators, the theory continues to have a lasting impact on conspiracy communities and remains a source of contention in the public eye. So, as we explore these darker, more complex aspects of Hollywood, we can't overlook the name of Isaac Kappy. Kappy was an actor who was known not for his roles in Hollywood, but he became very public and was saying very shocking allegations against several well-known figures in the industry. One of the most notable accusations was aimed at actor Tom Hanks, whom Kappy named as allegedly being involved in a network of child exploitation. And this was part of a larger narrative that Kappy began to construct about Hollywood corruption and people who he believed were part of this. Before we get into details, I want to be very clear. Isaac Kappy's claims, especially involving Tom Hanks, have not been substantiated by any credible news source. There's no official investigation or legal action against Tom Hanks at this time, and Hanks has publicly denied these accusations. Kappy himself was never able to provide proof of these claims, and in the end, his accusations remain unproven. So
I wonder why.
Yeah, because he's not around anymore.
He kerplunked in the motherfucking ocean.
No, that wasn't the ocean. He did on a freaking bypass.
Oh, I know. I was just paraphrasing. I'm like, he kerplunked.
He kerplunked on a freaking
hit in the ocean of cars.
Yeah, in a Ford F-150. So, some saw Kappy as a whistleblower, and others saw him as somebody who knew some very dark secrets about some very powerful individuals. A whistleblower is somebody who comes out saying something somebody who speaks out against some dark stuff that's happening at like a company or like in the government. Like that's what a whistleblower is. A lot of people viewed Isaac Kappy's accusations with a lot of skepticism, which when I told Eric, my husband, about all of this last night, he didn't even know about this stuff. And he was very skeptical. He's like, yeah, he committed suicide, so what? And I'm like, you don't think that there's something odd with that? And he goes, yeah, he was probably scared for his life and then decided to end it. And I said, in his final video, he literally says, if I die, it was not me. It was them. He says that, and that final video is on YouTube, so you can go and find it there.
At least they didn't get rid of that one.
Yeah, but they did take down the live stream where he outs a bunch of people, which you can't find it on Google or YouTube, but on alternative search engines, wink wink, you may find them. So a lot of people say that Isaac Kappy's death was very erratic in the months leading up to his tragic death in 2019, which I was in college at the time. And I was literally following him as he was saying this stuff. I missed the live stream. I did miss that, but I saw multiple videos before of him calling people out and saying, like, there's some dark shit going on here. Like, he made a video about Epstein before he was caught. Like, it was, like, a really weird, like, it was almost like he made, like, a funny pop song about, like Epstein Island, like, all these kids, where'd they go? Like, he's just, like, basically, like, making a, kind of like a joke out of it.
Mockery.
But also bringing to attention the situation.
Yeah.
So,
Okay.
yeah, so that's Isaac Cappy. He's got a nice big fro. And while Isaac Cappy's claims may have found an audience among those who were already inclined to believe in hidden nefarious operations within the entertainment industry, it's very crucial to take a step back and critically analyze what we're being told. It's important to ask why some people find it so easy to believe some of these allegations when they lack hard evidence, or could it be part of a world where rich and very powerful people appear untouchable? People who are more inclined to look for stories that explain the darker side of fame and fortune, are they looking for the dark truth, or is there a dark truth? I don't know.
Some people are like born into that weird shit and they don't know nothing else but weird shit. So imagine you're like the heir to like one of the, 13, 12 families, richest families or something, and all you know is weird fucking rituals and weird traditions, basically. Not really rituals, I guess they'd probably call it their family traditions, and make you feel like it's a normal thing. So then this next generation they have the same sadistic mindset because they're like, you know what I mean, like monkey see monkey do. Imagine like a child just like seeing that all the time. Like they don't see the outside world, they don't see the way it works, especially if they really keep. I'm not. This is just me making this up out of my brain completely.
No, there's.
It's just like an idea of it.
There's most definitely
manipulation, and
there's good people in the world, and there's very, very evil people in the world.
I'm just imagining only like how a kid could be raised within a rich and powerful family in that sense, like, you know.
Especially if that rich and powerful family is involved in some very
fucked up shit.
Yeah. So, remember, we are about to kind of get into Pizzagate, which is basically what Isaac Cappy was seeking to expose. So, let's just remember, before we get into this, these are not facts. These are just allegations, and accusations can be extremely dangerous for people. Accusations can be extremely serious and harmful to certain individuals, and it is very easy for misinformation to spread, especially in a time when social media can amplify stories faster than ever before. So, as a responsible consumer of information, we must be very cautious about drawing conclusions based on unverified claims. You are innocent until proven guilty in the court of law, so no matter how compelling this narrative may seem, remember we are not drawing any definitive conclusions here. So, now we're going to get into Pizzagate. And as we dive into this topic, it's conspiratorial. So, let's get into it. Pizzagate conspiracy theory emerged in late 2016 during the presidential election, and it started with the hacking of emails from John Podesta, which is Hillary Clinton's campaign chairman. And these leaked emails were published on WikiLeaks. I could not find them there, so I had to find them in an alternative search engine. So within these emails, there were various references to a pizzeria in Washington, D.C. named Comet Ping Pong, and some internet users, particularly in online forums such as 4chan and Reddit, started interpreting these emails and referencing coded language and secret rings that involve high-profile politicians and celebrities who were sending these emails. So the theory quickly spread across social media platforms and was amplified by some influences of conspiracy theorists, and despite being unfounded and heavily debunked by law enforcement and the media, wonder why, Proponents of Pizzagate began to claim that the pizzeria was a front for a child trafficking operation tied to the political elite. However, no evidence was ever found to support these allegations. Unfortunately, the spread of Pizzagate did not just stay online, and in December of 2016, a man named Edgar Madison Welch believed the conspiracy theory, drove to Comet Ping Pong with an assault rifle, and fired shots inside the pizzeria. Nobody was injured, but the incident highlighted how dangerous these kinds of unfounded conspiracies can be. It also had threats against the pizzeria's employees and the owner, such as death threats. And the aftermath of Pizzagate also raised concerns about the dangers of misinformation online and the role that social media and certain websites can play in amplifying a certain narrative. So, this theory has a lingering presence, yes, but we are just debating here and open discussion again. So, basically, authorities, including the FBI and independent media outlets, have found no evidence of any child trafficking ring out of a pizzeria, especially Comet Ping Pong, or any people involved in this theory. And it's important to be mindful how easy it is to get caught up in a story. So remember, always question the sources of the information that you consume. And in my opinion, I think the truth is plainly visible for all to see. But I digress. I cannot talk about my opinions on this subject. I can be censored, I can be banned, and again, free speech is not free. You gotta skirt around these issues and use very specific wording and phrasing, because free speech is not free. Pizzagate is basically kind of spinball this really quick. So, they say that James Alefantis and John Podesta were basically doing some really messed up things in the basement, allegedly. And they're... Oh my God, I don't know if I can even say this, but there was a video that I found on an alternative search engine, and it was somebody standing in the street, across the street from Comet Ping Pong, and you could hear screaming children saying, "Help me, help me."
Where inside the restaurant? Was it at night?
Yes.
Well, yeah, because obviously, like, you go there during the day and there's employees, they're not going to make it during the day.
Well, guess what? Their pizza restaurant was only open from 5 p.m. until 9:30, and somehow they made millions of dollars. How would you make money when you're only open for like little over 4 hours? Just saying.
It's basically just open to look like it's a business.
Mm-hmm. There was also some really messed up...
saying the employees probably aren't involved, it's the owner.
Mm-hmm. Well, you should also look at some of the paintings that were in the building. In one of the bathrooms, there was a painting of a man laying on a table and another man sitting over him eating his stomach. Cannibalism. Yeah.
Isn't that, like, really, like, isn't the painter where, like, specific celebrities, like, have bought paintings from them, and you can look up on the website, on the auction site, and you can see who bought these paintings, and they're, like, really fucked up paintings, and they have, like, a deeper meaning, and they're, like, basically, like, children shit, like, but it's, like, high-end celebrities buy these paintings, and, like, you can see visibly online who buys them.
So, I'm just looking up John Podesta's art in his house. So, this was one of the things that's actually above his couch. It's a painting of children in a circle. All of their heads are kind of like in a circle. It's kind of like in like a star formation, but it's just like children. This painting's not in his house, but this is a specific painter. I don't reference her, but I am going to be talking about Maria Abramovich. That's one of them. There's multiple painters, and this is also something that's in John Podesta's house, and it's a painting, or sorry, it's a person with it's headless. And basically, this pose is what Jeffrey Dahmer used for his victims after he would remove their heads. This is in his house. Yeah. So there's no head. But apparently the artist of this, Luis Borgiois, I don't know, I can't pronounce it. It starts with a B. Basically, they said that the, why do I keep saying painting? It's a sculpture. They said that the sculpture was a representation of human pain and suffering, basically. So it's just kind of really weird why he would have that in his house. So basically, the Pizzagate theory is allegedly saying that multiple politicians and or high-profile celebrities are basically operating out of this pizzeria. Okay, so let's take a step back for a moment, because a lot of people probably know about Pizzagate who are listening to this. You're probably listening to this podcast for us to get to this point. Here's just something that I find personally extremely odd. And this is something I've thought about a lot, is the way that the media responded so quickly to aggressively debunk the Pizzagate conspiracy. Now, don't get me wrong, I'm not suggesting that these claims were true, but they were thoroughly investigated and basically dismissed by authorities. And what I do find so curious is how fast the mainstream media jumped to discredit and shut it down. So here's the question that keeps coming up for me. If there was truly no substance to the theory, if there was absolutely nothing to it, then why did it get so much coverage? And why was it treated as such a major issue to quote-unquote debunk? Just think about it. If something is entirely false, wouldn't it make more sense for the media to just ignore it altogether and let it fade into obscurity, rather than giving it a spotlight by spending so much time and energy to try to disprove it? The sheer amount of attention that the media gave to debunking Pizzagate made it even bigger than it already was. Now, I'm not claiming that there's some grand conspiracy or hidden agenda behind it, but it's worth asking. Could the media's reaction have been actually playing a role in keeping the theory alive, or at least in the public's consciousness? And when something gets so much immediate pushback from credible sources, it can sometimes make people more curious or more suspicious, especially in today's era of social media, where narratives can spread very quickly. So this pattern is what we see across other topics as well. Whenever there's a story that challenges the status quo or raises very uncomfortable questions, it seems like there's almost an immediate effort to put a lot of energy into discrediting it. And I'm not sure that this was always serving our best interest. Is it protecting people from dangerous misinformation? Or is there something more to what's going on here? Could it be that when the media attacks something with such force, it inadvertently keeps the subject alive and in turn makes people more inclined to dig deeper into that narrative?
Yeah, I mean, it kind of like makes me think about, and I've been seeing this a lot lately, and this has to do with like the airplane thing. And I think I said this to you before, how it's like a scare tactic to get people to not leave and to not potentially travel if they were to want to leave in the future, and to make you feel as though you might not want to leave. Like, I just feel like it's just another, like I've said before, like there's just things they do to put in place to make you feel as though there's other things that are happening. But the reality is there are so many plane mishaps every year. It's just they're choosing to show more of it lately. Like they're choosing to show you more airplane like things that like the disasters that happen with the airplanes. But the reality is this year has the least amount in prior years, and they just never showed you. It's just
It's all in our faces right now, and it's all in our faces because whoever controls the media has a specific narrative that they want us to see. And if we're not believing that narrative, then we're part of the probably, like, I don't know, 10 to 20% of people who don't pay attention to the media, who don't listen to it. And we're the people who are not being brainwashed. We're the people who are realizing that there's something else going on here, some major thing is going on here. It's an important question to ask, and it often gets overlooked when we're too quick to accept the media's version of events. It's essential to be cautious of what information we choose to consume because we need to recognize that certain narratives are being steered in a very specific direction, whether for good or bad purposes. And in the case of Pizzagate, I can't help but wonder if the media's massive push to shut it down, combined with the attention and emotions that it stirred up, actually contributed to people saying, let's look into this a little bit more. Like, because they were so quick to be like, authorities have not verified any of this information, none of this is valid, and whatever, and all these news sources were saying it. But why? Like, why did they feel such a need to cover it? If it was not true at all, then this is just human psychology here. Let me just pick your brain. Let's just say that my husband accused me of doing something terrible, and I absolutely did not do it. Okay? So let's say I come home and he says that I did something so bad. Like, I can't believe that you did this. I heard from somebody that you did this. I'd be like, hell no. Like, I didn't do that. I'd just be like, I didn't do it. He would probably question me and say, well, this person said this and this person said this. So who am I supposed to believe? I'd be like, you'd believe me. I'm your wife. I would tell you the truth. And I'm telling you right now, I don't know what you're talking about. I didn't do that. And he would believe me. And there would be no more discussion about it. We wouldn't be talking about it for 3 or 4 weeks like, are you sure you didn't do that thing? Are you sure that you didn't do that thing that I heard that you did? But that's basically what was happening on media platforms. People were talking about it online, and then the media thought, let us put our foot in here. No, that's not true. That's not true at all. I promise it's not true. This is all fake. This is debunked by law enforcement. None of this is true. But if it wasn't true, then why did you need to cover it? Why did they need to put their hand in the pot and stir it? If there was no...
To make it look like they try and they care when they really don't. Maybe that's a part of it, to make the people that do believe still that the government's for you, that they're out there trying to do their best to figure out if anything is wrong and who it is. Like I said, they always want to put blame on somebody. There's always somebody to put blame. But the reality is there's just so many more people. Like, they can't put blame on one person. There's so many people to blame.
Yes, so the media tends to stir things in a very specific narrative, and something that I also noticed is that almost all news outlets say basically the same thing. So
there was literally a video about them all saying the same exact thing. It's freaking weird. They're just trying to put misinformation out to you. So, I don't know. I don't watch the news anymore, so.
Neither do I. And we are going to read some of these leaked emails. Okay? And it's very, very odd. Okay, I'm going to read the first one. Alright, so first email is with Tamara Lozado, which was Clinton's chief of staff. And she writes to Tom Podesto, with enormous gratitude to the advance man extraordinaire Haber, I am popping up again to share our excitement about the reprise of our Gaines visit to the farm in Lovettsville. And I thought I would share a couple more notes. We plan to heat the pool, so a swim is a possibility. Bonnie will be the Uber service to transport Ruby, Emerson, and Maeve Lozado, 11, 9, and almost 7. So you'll have some further entertainment, and they will be in that pool for sure. And with the forecast prospect of some sun. I'm sorry, but who fucking talks like that? Who fucking talks like that?
Sounds like they were checking out a location and it was the perfect spot.
Well, these emails have been removed from WikiLeaks, and I did find them through an alternative search engine, and this is just a question. Without any context, this sounds very weird, and I do not understand why 3 young-aged girls would be swimming in a pool with an older man who's not related to them in any way, shape, or form. Just saying, this sounds very weird. So, we are discussing very sensitive topics today that involve very serious accusations, so please note that these are allegations and have not been proven in the court of law. So our intention here is to explore these topics from a very critical perspective, and we encourage open dialogue. Please put what you think of that in the comments.
Here is another email from Susan Sandler. Susan Sandler is mentioned in some leaked emails associated with John Podesta, the former chairman of Hillary Clinton's presidential campaign, which was released during 2016 WikiLeaks hack of Podesta's email account. These emails became a significant part of the Pizzagate conspiracy theory, which suggested that high-ranking political figures, including Podesta, were involved in child trafficking run through a pizzeria in Washington, D.C. Here is the email. Hi, John. The realtor found a handkerchief. I think it has a map and is pizza related. It is yours? ? They can send it to you if you want. I know you are busy, so feel free not to respond if it isn't yours if you don't want it.
What the fuck is a map and is pizza related? Never heard of a pizza related map. Just rereading the emails without any context is very odd. So, again, not accusing, just open discussion here. Just sounds very weird.
Even knowing things, I'm just like, what the fuck does that mean?
Yeah, what is a map that is pizza related? Can someone show me a pizza related map? Put it in the comments, please. Actually, don't, please. I really don't want to know what it is.
Maybe put it in the email.
Yeah. Yeah, send it to us at chatterboxcorner@gmail.com if you know what that is. But I know what it is, but I'm not allowed to say it. So, next leaked email is Herbert Sandler. Herbert Sandler is a prominent figure mentioned in the leaked emails between John Podesta, the former campaign chairman for Hillary Clinton. He was a banking executive and philanthropist, best known for his founding or co-founding of the Golden West Financial Corporation, which is a mortgage lending company. With his wife Mary Sandler, Herbert and Marilyn Sandler were significant political donors, particularly to Democratic candidates, including Hillary Clinton. There is no evidence or indication in the emails that Herbert was directly involved in any illegal activity. But furthermore, let us listen to this leaked email. Herbert writes to John, I think that you should give notice when changing strategies which have long been in place. I immediately realized something was different, and I contemplated who would be sending me something in a square-shaped box. Lo and behold, instead of pasta and wonderful sauces, it was a lovely, tempting assortment of cheeses. Yummy. I am awaiting the return of my children and grandchildren from their holiday travels so that we may demolish them. P.S. Do you think I'll be better playing dominoes on cheese than pizza? Who plays dominoes on cheese and pizza? Just a very valid question there.
The rich and the powerful. I'm just kidding.
Who plays dominoes on cheese and pizza? When I read that email to Eric last night, he goes, he might have dyslexia. I don't know. I don't think it sounds weird.
That doesn't make any sense.
I know. I'm like, what do you mean that doesn't sound weird? And he's like, I have dyslexia, so some of my texts don't make sense. And I said, okay.
But they're professional people. They wouldn't have done that. They would have fixed it.
Yeah. And just very valid question. Who talks like that? But I digress.
Even people I know that can't freaking spell good can freaking just never mind. They can do better than that.
Hmm?
Here's another email leak from Fred Burton.
To Don Cooey Kendall.
Okay. Get ready for Chicago Hot Dog Friday, end quote. I think Obama spent about $65,000 of the taxpayers' money flying in pizza/dogs from Chicago for a private party at the White House and not long ago. Assume we are using the same channels, ? Another email link. Then there's late night pasta. Subject, change of plans. Can't wait to see you in Baltimore. We have late night pasta, JP.
That's a weird way to put it. We have late night pasta. Okay, I've eaten pasta late at night and I've never said it like that. I've never said we're having late night pasta. I'm saying I'm eating spaghetti. I'm just saying.
It's just like, well, then there's late night pasta and then subject, change of plans. Can't wait to see you in Baltimore. We can have late night pasta. So weird.
And one thing that is widely known and publicized is the White House, all of the food for the president in the White House is prepared at the White House due to the fact that food from outside sources can be poisoned. So, just saying, if it's a private party in the White House that includes the president, why was $65,000 of our money, taxpayer money, spent to fly in pizza and dogs from Chicago, assuming that they can't get that from Washington, D.C.?
I mean, what person would, like, that's rich and has money would fly in hot dogs? I don't know, and pizza. It just seems like a cheap meal that people like them would not eat also, as well, if you want to point that out.
And I just, again, don't understand why they would spend $65,000. And why does he say, assuming we are using the same channels? Like, what channels? And if they could just get pizza and dogs, why wouldn't they just get that from Washington, D.C.? Why would they need to fly that in from Chicago? I don't know. It is just a thought. And this email is going to lead into a whole nother topic. We're going to be talking about Marina Abramovic. Marina Abramovic sent this to John Podesta. I am so looking forward to spirit cooking at my place. Do you think that you will be able to let me know if your brother is joining? That's not all. There's another email here about pizza. It is in regards to a JPG picture in the attachment. It said pizza. That was the image's name. The image was not searchable, so I could not find that. John replies, nice. Now that's fucking weird. There's another email here about pizza. She's talking about spirit cooking, okay? Spirit cooking is a very controversial and provocative performance of an art concept that was created by Marina Abramovic, who is a Serbian performance artist, and it involves symbolic, ritualistic imagery that often includes the use of bodily fluids such as blood, semen, breast milk, and menstrual blood in a very highly visual and disturbing manner. They use their hands to use all of that mixed together, which I saw a video of it. It made me want to throw up. The purpose of the artwork is to challenge social norms and provoke thought and explore themes of life and death and the human body. So, Maria Abramovic sent an email saying, I am so looking forward to spirit cooking at my place tonight. The term spirit cooking is associated with an art installation performance by Maria Abramovic. Marina. Sorry, I sound like I'm saying Maria, but it is Marina.
Marina.
Yes. And it gained attention in 1996. During this performance, Marina used ingredients such as animal blood, semen, and breast milk to create a visual representation of a symbolic recipe. She painted these materials on walls and canvases and other surfaces using cryptid phrases or imagery. And the work aimed to explore ritualistic themes and abstract depictions of the human body, abstract depictions and themes of life and death and transformation, and the use of the bodily fluids was meant to make a visual, I can't even say that word, thought-provoking statement about mortality and the physicality of existence. So, this is the last email leak I will note. This one is also weird. Mary not free. Would love to get pizza for an hour. Or come over. John Podesta. This was Tony Podesta. No context here. It sounds like... Never mind. I'm just going to let you draw your own conclusions here. I encourage you to look up FBI code words that are commonly used in circles that exploit minors in various ways. I encourage you to do so, because I cannot talk about that here. There's another saying that speaks volumes about you, and that is the company you keep around you, birds of a feather flock together. So let's apply this idea to public figures such as the Clintons, Jeffrey Epstein, James Alefantis, the Podesta brothers, and Maria Abramovic. Let's just lump all those people together because they were all friends. And it's clear that their associations have often raised eyebrows, and based on the information revealed in WikiLeaks' data dump, it appears that many of these individuals were closely connected with each other. And one example in the photo shows Tony Podesta's 73rd birthday party in October shows him standing next to James Alefantis, who was the owner of Comet Ping Pong. Additionally, it's worth noting that the Podesta brothers have had long-term relationships with several individuals who were convicted of very serious crimes, and this includes former Speaker of the House, Dennis Hastert, financier Jeffrey Epstein, and Clement Freud, a British writer and politician who faced some serious allegations. And these are just some individuals who have been involved in these controversies, but I just question their association with these very dark people. So, we spoke about Tom Hanks earlier, okay? And this is still public information that is available. If you want to see this, go to his Instagram. Stalk it, you'll find it. In 2016, Tom Hanks posted a photo of a single glove on the ground alongside some lettering in chalk that reads SRC USA. This is short, SRC, and SRA is short for something else. And that something else I cannot say. So I encourage you to go do your own research. When it comes to SRA, SRA is very close to SA. Okay? Very close. There is just... There are two words that need to be changed. But, again, we can't talk about it. So I encourage you to look up what SRC or SRA is if you have any inclination to do so. So, very quickly, we're going to go through Wayfairgate. Do you know about the Wayfairgate conspiracy?
Yes, I do. I feel like during the Pizzagate, that also was like something that was like going around the internet, you know?
It was in like 2020 when this happened.
Yeah, I would say it was around the same time. I mean, that's when I would see all these things and learned about these because I already knew about a bunch of other stuff, but this was just cherry on top of the motherfucking cake.
You know what's so weird is that when the Diddy case came out, I really was not interested in trying to find out what was going on. I didn't care because my brain immediately went propaganda, propaganda, this is propaganda, and I just didn't fucking care. Like literally when I was in the gym because there's TVs everywhere in my gym, all I saw was like, Diddy on trial, Diddy arrested, this and that. And I was just like, this is just fucking propaganda. Like there's something else going on, but they want to cover this heavily.
Because they want someone to blame. They want someone to blame.
Yeah, and like I felt this way about Wayfairgate. When Wayfairgate came out, I really was not following it. I didn't follow it until like a year later. So
really,
yeah, I
didn't really follow it, but I just like I would see it and then like on my For You page that would be what would come up or something. Like it was, it's not around anymore, but it's something that I would see all the time. Like just, and I don't know if I was a little late to the game when I started seeing it, but I did try to like look up and like see if I could find stuff, but it was obviously already taken down at that point, or I wasn't, because like there was a whole thing I found of legit specific products that you could search the SKU number, everything, where you could have looked prior and see something basically. So those were, you know what I mean? Like I remember seeing all these videos about it. Someone had photos and all that shit.
This is actually what
people screenshot shit. So
this is what prompted me to start researching this. So this was probably into the year 2021. I remember that people were still wearing masks, especially even outside if they were grouped together. And across from where I work, so it's not like across the street technically. I mean, maybe in a way it is. I work at an airport. It's kind of like as I'm leaving work, it's like right across the street. There is a Wayfair. It's not a storage unit. It's like, sorry, it's a warehouse. There's a Wayfair warehouse that holds furniture and also like delivers from that warehouse. And it's right across from where I work. As I'm leaving work, I have to see it in passing every day. And what prompted me to start looking into this was in early 2021, there was a group of protesters on the side of the road at Wayfair. And I'm not kidding you, there was one of the signs that said, "Release the children." And then I go, hold the fuck up, what the fuck? I'm like, how have I not been doing this? Like, I was just like, whatever. Like,
you didn't really know exactly what it was and what it pertained.
But one of the signs said, "Release the children," and there were other signs that said, it was some employees working for them that were protesting because, like, one of the protester signs says something to the effect of, like, "I will not be exploited anymore by this company," or something like that. Like, "I will not let Wayfair use me anymore or leverage me to make money." It was something to that effect. But the one that said, "Release the children," it was on like a picket fence sign. That was the tallest one, and that's the one that got my attention. It was like, holy shit. So then I started really looking into it. And the controversy began when a Redditor named Princess Peach 1987 made a post in a conspiracy subreddit about storage cabinets sold by seller WFX Utility on Wayfair. And these storage cabinets were priced from $12,000 to $14,000. And these items had bizarre distinctive names such as Naraya and Yaritza, which is very odd for an industrial cabinet. And the user later stated that she was involved in a local organization that helps victims of human trafficking and suggested that this might be a front for trafficking. And Wayfair denies all rumors as this went viral. And again, these are all alleged conspiracies, and conspiracies can cause major harm or damage to people if they are actually innocent. So until they are proven guilty in the court of law, we are not saying that this is true. So my question is here, why would a 5-shelf storage cabinet named Yaritza or Samaya-5 be around $12,000? Just seems very odd. Seems very grossly overpriced for just a regular storage shelf that you can find the same storage shelf on Amazon for around $200.
I remember looking this stuff up and I couldn't find the price difference, but I think, like I said, it was already like
taken down.
Yeah, but there were screenshots of it, so I don't know. I think it's crazy that they would go to these measures to sell when, like, I just don't know why they would do it in that way. Like, when they could just do it, were they trying to get other buyers or something? I don't get that. Like, they could sell in a different way. You know, I mean, I know we'll never know, but that doesn't make sense to me. Like, they went online and made it. Is it just like a mockery or something? Like,
I
what do you think?
hiding in plain sight. That's what I think it is.
They could just do it behind the scenes. Why do it in plain sight?
I don't know. Maybe they were just getting too comfortable.
That's what I'm saying. Like a mock. Like, oh, like we can do whatever we want.
Well, it's very possible because there was another cabinet named Annabelle 5. Annabelle Wilson was missing from Wichita, Kansas since August of 2005. And another cabinet named Yaritza was missing from Harwinton, Connecticut since June of 2020. And a cabinet named Samaya was missing, a woman, or actually girl, because I don't even think that she was like overaged. She was missing from Columbus, Ohio since May 6th of 2019, and this one hits so close to home because we are literally 2 hours away from Columbus. And just to think that some teenage girl...
It could be anywhere.
It could be anywhere. And I remember that it was, what was it, Allie Carter saying something about all the missing children that were going in Springfield?
Yeah, like she would talk about certain areas, like where it would happen and stuff like that. So
I remember just 2 years ago, I swear to God it was in 2022, there were people saying, why are there so many kids and teenagers going missing in Cleveland, Ohio? What's going on in Cleveland?
well, it's like they try to go after the kids that aren't thought of as much, and when they realize, oh, maybe they are thought of, then they gotta do something about it.
This is also something that is odd that the subreddit person noted. Wayfair sells throw pillows priced at $10,000 per pillow. They also sell the same item, basically called a personalized shower curtain, for $10,000, but they also sell the same product on the same site for $99. So you have a pillow that's priced at $10,000, and then you have the same pillow that's priced for like $15.
That's crazy though that people caught on to that and actually seen that.
Just seems odd. And according to Yandex, 1,500 migrant children go missing, placed in the custody of sponsors in the USA. Around 1,500 children go missing every year. Where do these kids go? Let's just say we have our own thoughts and opinions about it. But this is what Wayfair has to say about these claims. There is, of course, no truth to these claims, and the products in question are industrial-grade cabinets that are accurately priced. Recognizing that the photos and descriptions provided by the supplier did not adequately explain the high price point, we have temporarily removed the products from the site to rename them and provide a more in-depth description and more photos that accurately depict the product's clarified price point.
I didn't know they actually like replied.
Yeah, this is what a spokesperson said. So, here are some questions that were on a post on Facebook in 2020, which has since been taken down, but still on Yandex. So, this isn't about cabinets. There are many products like baby albums, pillows, blankets, rugs, cabinets, and more with pricing over tens of thousands of dollars. Are they really just industrial products? If they were just pricing of cabinets, you might have a point, but that's not all. Why are there names of missing children over these listed products? Why are there claims of missing children surrounding the organization of Wayfair? What are they hiding and how are they involved? Why would the media jump all over some random internet conspiracy to try to debunk it? This is not me saying this. This was a post on Facebook. And that post went viral and was since then removed. So,
Well, once it goes viral and they see it, you would want it to go viral, but then you don't. Well, luckily you got those crazy people out there that record everything and screenshot.
well, let's just say in front of these cabinets, there was the acronym. I don't know what it stands for, but it was SKU. Okay, so these cabinets would say either in some order Uritza Industrial Cabinet SKU number, and it would give a number. And when searching in alternative searching platforms, SKU, I I saw pictures of little girls alongside of passports, their own passports. I saw pictures of little girls holding balloons and pizza. And I also saw a picture from Justin Bieber's music video, Yummy. For when I just searched SKU number. Pretty weird.
Yeah, that is weird because a SKU number is like a product number in terms of a product, so that's weird.
Mm-hmm. Why on earth did Tom Hanks post a photo in 2016 that had SRC USA? I'm not implicating anything here. I'm just asking the question. I used to love Tom Hanks as a child and as a teenager. He was literally America's dad. And I used to find so much comfort in watching his movies. And before we get into Marina Abramovic a little bit more, basically, these are just two quotes from Isaac Cappy on his live stream, which was since then taken down. He said, "They can pew pew me. Good luck with that. Not everyone in Hollywood is bad, and not everyone knows what's going on. I didn't know what was going on until it was thrown in my face. Bam!" That's an exact quote. He says in the video, the live stream which was removed, "Look deeply at Maria Abramovic." So basically, we already kind of went into what spirit cooking is. However, spirit cooking is more than just a piece of art. It basically has some allegations between John Podesta, Hillary Clinton, and the leaked emails, and the invitation to spirit cooking at my place this evening is basically a direct link to occult rituals leading to theories that Abramovic was involved in very dark and sinister practices such as Santa rituals or child exploitation. And when I say Santa rituals, switch around the lettering, okay? You know what I'm saying. These allegations rapidly spread across social media and spurred a lot of fear and distrust of the elites, basically. And these accusations became part of a larger conspiracy involving Pizzagate, which claimed that a network of very powerful individuals, including politicians and celebrities, was involved in human trafficking. And while there is no credible evidence that links Abramovic to such activities, the idea that she was somehow connected to these shadowy, sinister operations began to snowball, and mainstream media's minimal coverage of these allegations only fueled this conspiracy even further. And social media creates an echo chamber of misinformation that can spread very quickly when unchecked and crossing internet channels. And again, we emphasize that these claims are purely speculative and have not been substantiated by any credible sources. So, very quickly, what is the intent behind spirit cooking? Like much of her work, Marina's work, it is designed to provoke thought of deeper themes of life and death and the human body. The ritualistic elements of her performances are not meant to encourage any harmful behaviors or represent a Santa ritual, but rather it's supposed to engage viewers in dialogue about the symbolic meaning of life's darker aspects. Whatever that means. And the use of bodily fluids in particular is intended to underscore human vulnerability and basically kind of like create like a tension point for conversation. And in the context of performance art, the shock factor is often a tool to force the audience to confront uncomfortable realities in society that normally people want to avoid discussing. So it's important to recognize that the provocative nature of this kind of art is to challenge the social norms and questionable taboos, and it's symbolic of something else. So, despite lack of evidence, spirit cooking controversy quickly became a feeding ground for more conspiracies. And the core of these theories, alongside some very powerful elites, basically saying that they're involved in exploitation of minors. And it is essential to be clear that these are just theories and not supported by any credible sources. And fact-checking organizations such as Snopes or PolitiFact have thoroughly investigated these claims. The viral nature of these theories, however, has created an environment that people are eager to believe in hidden sinister truths and in the absence of any solid fact-checking agency. Whatever.
Oh my gosh.
So, god damn. So, what's particularly troubling about this whole thing is the emotionally charged language and imagery that is used to manipulate the public's perception. So, something as unsettling as child exploitation is a real world issue. But instead of channeling public concern, they say these are baseless accusations, and basically, we need to be cautious that the idea that powerful elites are involved in hidden illegal activities is not only an emotionally charged conspiracy, but it's also deeply rooted in a long history of mistrust of the government, corporations, and the media. This fear can make conspiracy theories fuel more plausible narratives and fears about corruption and abuse of power. But we must be careful that speculation and conjecture are not the same thing as hard evidence. So, we're not basing any beliefs in unfounded theories to spread misinformation. So, in the case of Marina Abramovic and spirit cooking, these claims are based on basically just associations that she had with specific people. So, you need to ask yourself, why are you so quick to accept theories that are not backed by people who gather the evidence? Why do people fuel these discussions, especially when they could harm individuals or communities without cause? I encourage you to keep a critical mindset and not just believe everything that the media tells you. We want to encourage open and thoughtful discussion and dialogue here. So we prioritize the truth and fact checkers, and we have responsibility to give you the facts, but to give the facts in a way that is not harmful to any individual organization or community. So, in conclusion, if you look up spirit cooking, just keep an open mind. That's all I have to say.
Keep an open mind.
Yeah. Yeah, you keep the open mind. We'll keep it chatty, okay? You know, Lady Gaga actually studied under Marina Abramovic for several years to help her in her music videos.
To give that aesthetic?
She thought that her art was inspiring. Although I think that painting with blood, feces, and menstrual blood and all that. I think that's disgusting.
Yeah, that's pretty nasty, but the things that I've heard, some people like some weird shit and they don't mind it. Some people like weird shit and they don't mind it.
Well, this last point is going to lead into something else, which we have 2 more speaking points before we end it. Marina is very close friends with Jacob Rothschild, and she was photographed with him admiring the family's 1797 painting titled Satan Summoning His Legions. This is a real painting. You can look it up. She is also close friends with Bill Gates, and she actually starred in a commercial for Microsoft.
Get her a little extra money.
Yeah. Marina was also a host of, I guess, occult rituals with high-profile celebrities such as Lady Gaga, and she was also confirmed to tour on Jay-Z's last tour, and she was helping with the choreography.
That's weird. What, to like trance on people or what?
It just says that.
What does that even mean?
It basically just said that she was there promoting her art and was assisting with the choreography and stuff. So, just a weird thing to know.
Business that hoe got doing up in that industry anyway? Nothing.
Well, Isaac Cappy, I'm going to bring him real back into this. Okay. Isaac Cappy said in either an interview or a video that he posted himself, be afraid of the person that has nothing to lose because they have nothing to fight for. And now he's gone. So, just saying, it just seems very weird. He literally said, I have nothing to fight for. Marina being involved with Jacob Rothschild, we're going to basically get into the history of the Rothschild family, and I swear I always forget about them. But we're going to get back into their...
like the main families I think about.
Really?
The main rich families. We'll talk about this later in future topics, but like the Illuminati, the 12 families. I dove into this in like middle school. Like, basically the richest people. The known families. There's other, like, Rockefellers.
Yes, I was about to say the Rockefellers were one of the people that was involved with Ford because Ford was the first company that came up with the 5-day work week.
Yeah.
That exploits us all, motherfucker! God damn! I hate working 5 days a week. I fucking hate it. I wish that I could work 4 days a week. I wish I didn't have to work at all.
Because the families put together a system. It's more deeper than that. We just don't really see it that way.
And let's just say that in the next episode, we will be covering the most powerful elites in the world. That's something that we're going to have to cover. This is going to be a 2-parter because, goddamn, we pick a big topic.
Or an 80-parter.
Yeah, it might be a 3-parter. Who knows? This is a very big topic. So, the Rothschild family origins date back to the 18th century in Germany. The family patriarch, Mayer Rothschild, was born in 1744 in Frankfurt, which was then part of the Holy Roman Empire, and Mayer worked as a court factor, serving the Prince of Hesse in financial matters. And over time, he built a strong foundation in banking and finance, and in the 1760s, he established his own bank, the Mayer Amschel Rothschild Bank. He had 5 sons who were spread across Europe after they became old enough, and they established the other branches of the family bank in London, Paris, Vienna, Naples, and Frankfurt. This expansion helped the Rothschilds to become a global financial dynasty that dominated the European banking system in the 19th century. Mayer Amschel's banking empire was deeply involved in financial governments, particularly in the Napoleonic Wars, and was one of the first to introduce international finance. And this financial network allowed the Rothschild family to accumulate immense wealth and power, making them a central figure in global finance. Money runs the world, if you didn't know. And with influence of their family reaching into politics, economics, and culture around the world. And the family was known for their philanthropy, and particularly in the fields of education, science, and art, solidifying their status among the elites in Europe. Despite their success, the Rothschild family has become a target of numerous conspiracy theories, particularly concerning the financial power and influence of their family. And these theories have often been marked by anti-Semitic undertones, because the family has a Jewish heritage, and they also have become basically the central topic of dark and baseless allegations involving their family. That's what they say. And their connections to Marina Abramovic, who, as we already stated, is a renowned performance artist, is more speculative than it is concrete, and it's largely based on the fact that both entities are high profile and are associated with elite circles in various conspiracy theories. And Abramovic, who is famous for her provocative art performances, has been linked to Hillary Clinton, John Podesta, and only in photos, Jacob Rothschild. So, however, just because there's a picture of two very, very important people together doesn't mean that they have direct relationships with each other in very illicit activities. No, it doesn't. Because I could have a picture with me and Marilyn Manson, and I didn't have fucking any involvement in what he did. But I could be like, I'm just a fan, like I just got a picture with him. So So I'm not saying that that Jacob Rothschild specifically has a certain connection to her. They just have a picture that's floating around on the internet.
They're also probably very private about what they do, and that's the most you'll probably ever get is a photo.
That's probably very true.
Because, like, those are the people that you'll never hear bad information about. Those are the people that would be able to pay to make something go away. Those are the people that would send a celebrity into the dust, into the dirt. Like, those are those type of people.
You know, in those leaked emails with John Podesta, he was still serving in the government until 2022. So that just goes to show you that if you have enough money, you can send...
And you might not ever even hear about those people in any situation because they make sure that they're like the last party to be spoke of.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I don't know.
It is very weird.
That's how I would work if I were rich and powerful. Like, any way to get yourself to not be even mentioned.
Well, if you have enough money, you can make anything go away. But
like,
actually, I guess that's
but
not the
there's other
case.
people that will like play it for you, and they'll be the victim, and they'll play the part. That way, there's no pointed fingers at that other person. Like, there has to be a way they do it, because on top of the money and paying people off, like, they're just not even on paper. They make sure they're like, they speak of it to this person, mm-hmm. but the other person enacts it, right?
So this is something
that they just show up.
This is something that I found through my research, and that is when you look up certain people, certain individuals, certain conspiracies on Google, you will find completely different information when you go to a different search engine. So if you use different search engines and you just search keywords, you're going to get such different information that you would find on Google than you would find on these other search engines. And I wonder why that is. Maybe because Google is highly monitored and censored, and that there is certain information that they will not allow you to find.
Yeah, no matter what.
Yeah, and maybe because certain people are, take that website down. Take that blog down. Take that...
They don't even have an option, they're just gonna do it.
Take that person down. All speculatory here, okay? And the Rothschild family has allegedly been involved in Santaism or occult practices. And these are just conspiracy theories with no factual foundation. But despite being tied to such high society events and influential networks, the Rothschilds are not involved in any cult or ritualistic activity. And the spirit cooking controversy, which involved Marina Abramovich's art, was fueled by many interpretations or misinterpretations of her work. Combined with the leaked emails to John Podesta, apparently this is falsely linked to nefarious secret activities. Again, just seems very, very odd. But as Kyla said, a lot of these rich and powerful people are very private. So they don't have to explain stuff to us, but I just wonder why they are so private.
Because they're completely different than us. And I'm not saying I know any of this stuff. I'm just saying, like, I've heard people say when you are so rich and so powerful, you know, you get bored, you've seen everything, you've done everything that we probably never had to do, so you start doing things that your family before you practiced, and like I said, things seem normal to you that wouldn't be normal to us. So,
Yeah, I mean, they're just different worlds. I wasn't born into a rich family. I was born into a poor family.
yeah. So, I don't know, I can't imagine, like, just being rich and fucked up and private and just, I don't know. You've seen some movies where the rich people, how they are. But is that made up? No. Is that a fantasy? That came from somewhere.
Mm-hmm. And in conclusion, while these conspiracy theories linked to the Rothschilds and their people are saying that they are linked to Santaism or occult practices, there is no credible evidence to support these claims, and these allegations often stem from symbolic misinterpretation or anti-Semitic narratives because they're Jewish, which I really don't see that, but I literally used to see these ads on my, I don't know if it was Hulu, I think it was Peacock, and that's when I had it anyways. And it said, "Stop Jewish Hate." And there were like pictures of people saying, like, like pictures of like, "I hate the Jews" or something. And then there was like a website that said, "Please donate." And I was looking at Eric and I was like, why would people hate the Jews? And he was like, because they killed Jesus. And I'm like, oh my God, are you serious? Yeah, he's like, people have hated the Jews since way before our time.
Oh my God, this is so fucking funny. Okay, I was at Trader's Road yesterday. Okay, we'll get right back to topic, but you made me think of it.
No, talk.
There were these guys in a booth, and they were handing out those $1,000 fake bills, like to promote God. You know what I'm talking about?
Yes, they're tracks, yeah.
And walking by the first aisle, I didn't hear it, but I guess some lady, he asked, he's like, "Do you believe in God?" And I guess the lady's like, "No, I do not." He's like, "Well, I guess you're going to hell." And then walking back, because they tried to hand me one, I didn't respond. I just walked on by. I just ignored them. But walking back, there was another woman that was walking by, and I wanted to watch it because me and my boyfriend were like, "What the fuck? Who the fuck says that? We're at Trader's World. It's a flea market." Anyway, the woman, he's like, "Are you a believer of God?" And she's like, "Yeah." He's like, "Oh, sure beats going to hell."
Oh, yeah.
So like the other woman accepted the $1,000 bill, and he's like, "You believe in Jesus or God?" And she said, "Yeah." "Well, it sure beats going to hell."
Oh,
what kind of shit are you putting on? Like, you can't put that kind of stuff on people. That's weird as fuck. First telling that woman, "Well, you're going to hell," and then
okay, something very, very quick here.
it's fucked up.
I want to say this real quick. I personally do not believe in heaven or hell. I think that those concepts are man-made concepts. Hell is basically something that was taken from Dante's Inferno, and heaven is something that has been talked about in many cultures and is kind of like a comfort thing, saying that like you're going to go to be with your family when you die and stuff.
It's probably just where your soul goes until your soul goes somewhere else. It's like the void.
Yes. I feel like heaven and hell are just associated with man-made concepts. And I don't know, I personally do not believe in hell. And when me and Eric have talked about this specific uh, philosophy, he goes, "So where do you think Hitler went? Where's Hitler?" And I'm like,
his soul probably went to
yeah, and I said,
I'm like, what do you mean?
I
resurfaced into another body and did another fucked up thing.
I said he probably fucking reincarnated as like a fucking bug and was eaten by something, and then
He says like each carnation, each soul that you experience, you're gonna do different things. You have different goals, different objectives. He obviously did not figure his out. He went a different path and he was evil about it. But like, if he did reincarnate with his soul, he's not gonna be the exact same person he was as he was Hitler, because each soul has, when they're in that body, has a different journey that they're, or objective that they're trying to attain. So if this soul did come back, it ain't gonna be like Hitler, but it's gonna do some damage in a different way. I'm gonna tell you that.
Well, one thing that I
Just
wish, I just thought about this. I hope that when Hitler reincarnated, he reincarnated as a fucking worm, eating the dirt from his fucking mouth.
What, like a male spider that gets eaten by the female?
That would be good too. But imagine Hitler eating dirt his first time he wakes up in a.
What if like his soul did come back as like a murderer or like a psychopath, like in their body, and just did other evil things?
I really believe in reincarnation. I believe that this is a proven scientific fact that
we're energy. We're all energy. There's no way it can't disappear.
Yeah. I was literally about to say that. Energy cannot be either created or destroyed. So energy has to be transferred from one source to another. So
even though your body's gone, your energy is not. So it has to go somewhere.
Yes. So that's why I don't personally believe in heaven or hell, although the thought of heaven sounds beautiful, going to stay with your family members and stuff after you die.
This is a random thought. What happens to somebody's that did not fulfill their journey purpose as a soul, and because their life got ended too soon, and it wasn't foretold? Does their soul just restart over in another body? Because they didn't finish the task. That's just a random thought.
No. There's actually some videos out there of children who have claimed that they were in the buildings in 9/11, like little children, like
I think I remember something. I think I remember something like that, where they said they were somewhere that. How do you remember these things?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and some people say that these are, baseless claims. Like they're just children. Why should we believe them? And I'm just thinking like
maybe it was a soul that never
reached its potential in its life, and then they got reincarnated into another child.
They have that memory still somehow, or that just thought, the feeling.
You know that there's actually kids out there who say that they remember when they chose to come into their mom's body. There's kids who say that they remember. Well, they say that
there's people that are aware instantly of their
conception,
of what their journey is, what their goal in life is to figure out, but some it takes their whole life to figure out.
Yeah.
Like you don't know what your purpose is here.
We all are different human beings, obviously, who have different levels of, energy, and we have all different psychology, and, some kids can remember things as well as, like, when they were little. Like,
shit, you remember popping out the vagina? That'd be fucking crazy.
Some people actually say that they do remember that, which I find nuts.
12, I think.
See, Eric is the same way. He says he's like, I don't really have memories past then. My first memory, I seriously remember, my first memory was me turning 4, and I was in front of my birthday cake with the candles that had 4 candles, and they were singing happy birthday to me, and I swear to God, it was like I just woke up. I was like,
I have like when I was dancing to like Big Butts and like It's Getting Hot in Here by Nelly, and I was like 4, but they're very few far in between.
See, like that's my first core memory. Like I'll never forget that. It was like I woke up in my body at basically 4 years old. I was 3 turning 4. And I remember after they got done singing happy birthday to me, my mom was like, she had the camera in front of me and everything, and it was one of those old disposable cameras, and she was like, blow up the candles, blow up the candles. And I was like, no. And I just crossed my arms and I turned my head, and all my family's around, and they were like, why aren't you going to blow out the candles? And I'm like, I don't want to be 4. I want to stay free. They were like, you have to blow out the candles. You're going to turn 4 anyway. And I go, no. And I just start crying. And I was like, I don't want to.
Oh my god, you were dramatic at 3 too? Fuck. Fuck a big personality. At 4. Oh my god, I can already see it now.
Well, I didn't blow out the candle. My mom had to blow out the candles. And then she was just like, honey, if you blow the candles out or you don't, you're still going to turn 4. And I'm like, and they had to like calm me down. They took me outside. They were like, it's fine. They're like,
Peter Pan's when he didn't want to grow up.
yeah, literally. And they were like, come on, we're gonna go inside and open presents. And then I got all excited again. But like, that's literally my first memory. I don't remember anything before
Wendy.
that. No, literally.
With your red ass hair, Wendy.
So I was just like, if I just don't, my little 3-year-old
Kids
brain,
grew up.
like,
I'm Captain.
my brain was like, oh, if I don't blow out the candles, I'm not gonna turn 4.
Well, no matter what is happening, you're aging. Unless you do what they're doing.
Hey,
Which is what we're about to talk about. Go.
My 4-year-old brain couldn't tell the difference, alright?
But if you could get some of this, what we're about, then maybe you could not. Maybe you'll backwards.
I wish I could reverse backwards.
Well, you don't want to do this.
I don't want to do this way,
You
but...
want to do it that way. We'll just get some beef tallow.
Here's the last topic that we're going to cover, which...
I'm insinuating right now.
Jesus.
And go.
My voice is getting a little hoarse.
Hurry up. Drink. Go, go, go.
So, the last topic we will cover is adrenochrome. The origins of adrenochrome is a chemical compound that can be traced back to the early 20th century, and through this substance which became widely known in scientific and cultural context. I'm getting tired. It is an oxidized form of adrenaline produced when adrenaline, epinephrine, undergoes a chemical reaction in the body, and the adrenal glands produce adrenaline in response to fear, stress, or excitement, and this is responsible for the fight or flight response, which in most situations I have a flight response. Kyla, on the other hand,
You think so?
I feel like you have more of a fight response.
Like, what situation?
I don't. It's like there was this one time that me and you were at a gas station, and somebody was like said something to us.
I don't drinking though.
No.
Oh.
I don't remember. This was when I first met you. We were at a gas station of some kind. Somebody said something like nice ladies or something, and you said, you were like fucking yelling at the motherfucker. You were like, don't fucking talk to me like that. Who do you think you are? And I was just like,
I guess I pick and choose, but if a guy's being nasty and catcalling me, I don't like it because it's happened a lot and it's fucking rude and disgusting. And if you're doing it in a provocative way, I'm gonna say something.
no, see, I don't blame you because I've
seen a guy look upside down at me one time, and I look back, I'm like, are you fucking kidding me? I was like a teenager. I was an adult.
God.
I mean, that shit doesn't happen. I mean, I think I'm so oblivious now because I just like choose to ignore it because at the end of the day, fucking pigs. I'm sorry, a lot of men are pigs.
Some of them.
Like, I'm not saying all of you are pigs, but like a lot of guys are fucking nasty, and that also pertains to the fucking crazy Hollywood elites because a lot of them are fucking men, and men are fucking have weird fetishes and freaks. You know, I'm not like that. I'm a normal white bitch.
I encourage you to look up the Red Shoe Club if you want to see some weird shit. But anyways,
I don't know.
Yeah, Kyla did not put up with that shit. I swear to, like, I was literally pumping the gas. And
I don't remember doing that, but I probably had.
This was 2020. You were walking into the gas station or something. I had already paid for gas. And the guy was like, he's like, nice ladies or whatever. And you were like, who the fuck do you think you are? You think you can fucking talk to me like that? Seriously? She's like, you can fuck off. And I'm just like, I couldn't do that at the time because I was so very, like, timid and quiet. And I feel like Kyla kind of, like, brought me out of my shell more. And, like, I would say on a normal basis, due to my traumatic upbringing, I have more of a flight response. But I really feel like Kyla has more of a flight response.
Okay, so I'm not going to go into delve deep with this, but, like, something bad happened to me, and I was in a situation at the wrong place at the wrong time, and I was just running my mouth at the guy, and, you know, the detective said, you could have got yourself killed. I'm like, because I'm just like, I'm like bitching that motherfucker out, like, stop, quit, like,
Yeah, because you were talking back and shit. Like, you weren't gonna let him just get away with what he was doing. Like,
So yeah, I mean, I guess I will say, if I'm in that situation, I guess, yeah, I'll fucking tase you, motherfucker.
she gonna fight.
I'm gonna gouge your eyes out with my nails. I will fucking.
Yeah, because
that I had to get a restraining order against this guy for a temporary. He was crazy, but yeah, we won't go into that. But basically, I'm not that kind of person, and I was so mentally fed up with it. I was just like, I don't know.
tired of walking away. Like, I'm just gonna fucking fight you at this point. Like,
Yeah, I mean, he always had me on the ground, trying to take my phone, chasing me around the house, tantronizing me, and he was my height. So I mean, one day I just was like, you know what? Probably can fuck you up, and I just got sick of it. And
hey, honestly,
that's the first and last time I've ever done that. You know, I'm with a great man now. I don't need to worry about none of that in my life. That's past me. All right.
yeah,
Moving forward.
yeah. There's some shit in our history that's messed up, but we are who we are today because of it. So
Yeah, no, for sure, for sure.
but adrenochrome is a natural byproduct of the body, and I smelled.
I was like,
She Kyla smelled herself and then went, ugh. And I thought that she was smelling me, so I was like, fuck.
I wouldn't. If you did, I wouldn't be telling it over the internet.
So funny.
And I would be like,
bitch, you stink.
I would be voicing it to you where no one could hear. But no, I haven't put deodorant on. I just took a shower when she got here, so.
Well, back to adrenochrome because we're almost done with this.
We're talking about bodily things.
Yeah. You're welcome. But basically, the discovery of adrenochrome dates back to 1937 when scientists isolated the compound after recognizing that it was a natural byproduct of the oxidation of adrenaline. And researchers found that when adrenaline is exposed to oxygen, it undergoes more oxidation, which leads to the product of adrenochrome. So that's the science behind it. And if you understand that, cool. And if you don't, sorry, look up a video. This chemical compound properties were explored within the realm of biochemistry and the potential effects on the body, and it has gained some significant spotlight in mainstream media and scientific research. And in many years that followed the discovery of adrenochrome, it was basically also studied for its potential role in neurological diseases and blood clotting.
Schizophrenia.
Yes, and it could be involved, this is speculation here, adrenochrome could be involved in certain mental disorders, schizophrenia, and it's basically has very similar properties to dopamine, which is a neurotransmitter in your brain. But studies have never definitively proven any connection between adrenochrome and psychiatric illness, and for the most part, adrenochrome has remained relatively minor and unremarkable in scientific research as of lately. And it's not used in medical practice or in therapeutic use of medicine. Or I guess it's used in very little practical cases. Adrenochrome's transition into obscurity happened during the Hunter S. Thompson work in the book Fear and Loathing, which was published in 1971. He introduced adrenochrome in a different way that had never been publicized before. And in the novel, the character Raoul Duke and his companion, Dr. Gonzo, consume adrenochrome in pursuit of a hallucinogenic euphoric high, and Thompson's portrayal of adrenochrome as a potent and mind-altering drug derived from human sources was entirely fictional, and it was designed to reflect countercultural themes in the book. Because there's a lot of drug usage in the book, and I encourage you to watch the movie. It's hilarious and a little scary.
I found a guy like that also talked about it. His name was Fritz Springmeier. He talked about
Okay.
But I don't know. He was basically saying like what you were saying, but allegedly, this is his, this is someone that made this. I think it said he was a Freemason, actually.
Okay.
So,
Which we'll be covering that next week. Go ahead.
But he basically was saying that they would get these subjects really scared and object it out of their back of their skull if you know how to do it correctly. Allegedly, this is what this guy said. Like, you have to know exactly how to do it the right way to get it at the right exact time.
Do you still have that video up?
Yeah, it's right here.
Could you send it to me so I can watch it later?
And he said that there's a guy named Al Gore who said that he's a hemophiliac. Was it a hemophiliac? Like, hold on. Yeah, a hemophiliac. And they said that the reason that he carried blood in a suitcase was that he was a hemophiliac, but in that case it was really because he was just becoming addicted to blood, which is like the adrenochrome. It's like you're getting that adrenaline rush in your body that's coming from the adrenochrome.
Hemophiliac refers to a person who has hemophilia, which is a rare inherited bleeding disorder.
So that's his reason for carrying a blood around in his suitcase, but in reality it's because he's become addicted to blood.
You know, I actually have a form of this. I don't have hemophilia, but I have something that's very related to this. So, I have a condition where if I get like a cut or like a sore, my platelets
It doesn't stop bleeding when it should.
Yeah, the platelets are supposed to stop the bleeding very shortly after. When, for me, because I know that this also has to do with the fact that I'm also anemic, but I guess like when I cut my finger the other day when I was just like peeling potatoes, I bled for 8 hours. From a little cut, I had to keep changing my band-aids and shit. And Eric is always like worried about me because he's just like, stop cutting potatoes if you're going to hurt yourself. And I'm like, I'm not trying to hurt myself, but I can't just say I'm never cutting potatoes for the rest of my life. You know what I mean? Like, but I literally bled for 8 hours.
It's crazy.
Like, when I woke up in the morning and I took my Band-Aid off, it just kept going. I'm like, what the fuck?
You need some liquid bandage.
Yeah, something. Like, I normally have to put cotton, like a little cotton ball there, and that'll help. But it just really sucks that, like, I have some form of this lack of platelets, and my doctor even confirmed that while I was pregnant. He was like, oh my god, like, you have a very low amount of platelets. Yay! But we're going to get into the dark associations with it very quick. Adrenochrome basically now has some kind of sinister association when it comes to the 21st century, when conspiracy theorists began to make claims that the connection to the elite and criminal activity basically have some, I guess, elements of using adrenochrome in their circles. And this conspiracy theory involves Hollywood elites and politicians and very known public figures who engage in horrible practices such as human trafficking and ritualistic abs. You can figure out what I'm saying there. I can't say it. And the harvesting of adrenochrome from suffering children to achieve a youthful complexion. And this narrative found its peak during the Pizzagate conspiracy that we talked about earlier, with figures such as John Podesta, James Alefantis, Marina Abramovich were all falsely accused of Santa rituals and SA of children linked to adrenochrome. So despite the lack of evidence here, the idea that adrenochrome is harvested from the blood of children during traumatic experiences in order to basically have that euphoric effect and also creating a youthful appearance. This is all baseless paranoia and misinformation, and we basically have to say that.
I mean, but but The Simpsons also be saying stuff. I just saw a video. What's that pointy guy? The pointy ass.
Mm-hmm.
He said, "I didn't think of it before that the key to my youth is children." So there was like a clip of a Simpsons episode that said something like that, and I saw that.
That makes me want to pull my hair out. That's terrible. My God, dude, they just put it right in front of our faces, but we're not allowed to say anything.
Because you wouldn't think when those things are said in a cartoon, like, oh, that's real life. You know, you're not gonna relate that to your life in real life because they don't want you to. They want you to think it's fake because it's on TV. Because TV is not real.
And a lot of these narratives are rooted in fantasy, and it's designed to exploit the fears about elite power and corruption, which is definitely not happening right now.
Yeah, that doesn't happen at all.
No. We are almost to the conclusion. Mythologizing Adrenochrome taps into a much broader fear of elite power and corruption, and the narrative that the rich engage in dark occult practices for personal gain resonates very deeply with conspiracy theorists who are distrustful of mainstream media, politicians, and the status quo. Adrenochrome, in this sense, becomes a symbol of shadowy forces at work in the world, making it a convenient scapegoat for individuals seeking to answer complex societal issues. So, basically, the idea that powerful people drink or consume adrenochrome as part of a ritual, a Santa ritual specifically, plays on common cultural psychotropes, such as immortality or, like I said, trying to create a youthful appearance. And a lot of this is fear-mongering on the internet.
Oh my god, I actually just saw a video of fucking a Russian news, like a video of a Russian newscast talking about celebrities in the US that haven't aged correctly and stuff, and how there was like another picture next to it of a child's eyes bruised. Like, this is a Russian news, like a normal news forecast.
You know,
it was a what the fuck? They're talking about it.
And see, the thing is like, I'm sorry, but why does J-Lo still look like that? She hasn't aged in like 20 years, dude. Why does J-Lo look like she's still 20 years old? I'm sorry.
They were mentioning a lot of them, like Brad Pitt, Johnny Depp, all of those people, like, just...
They like age backwards, but it's because they have some access to some of the most powerful serums in the world, or doctors, or whomever, who can basically assist them with looking younger, but what they use to look younger, we will never know because we're not in those circles. So in conclusion, adrenochrome's journey from biologically inconsequential compound, then made into a infamous symbol of dark conspiracies, highlights how misinformation can take control and hold on people. And in portrayal of fictional works such as Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas, it contributes to a, I guess, a warped view of how the elite manipulate and or do rituals. And
this goes back so long ago, we wouldn't even, you know.
Yes, despite lack of any credible evidence linking adrenochrome to any illicit or harmful practices, it has become deeply embedded in conspiratorial narratives, fueling more paranoia and confusion in the media, when in reality, adrenochrome is simply a natural byproduct of the breakdown of adrenaline in the body, no significant or lasting effects on mental or physical health, and basically, we're not trying to fuel any fiction, rumors, or misinterpretations here. We are just stating the facts of what it is, where it comes from, I guess where it kind of started to be a topic of conversation in society, and do with that information what you will. You have reached the end of Chatterbox, so we're going to end it here for today, but I have a few things that I need to say. First, if you are interested in uncovering more about these theories, it is important to stay safe. Make sure that you have credible sources before jumping to any conclusions. And as we have explored a lot of theories and questions about Hollywood and the elites and mysteries surrounding certain events that are very, very unsettling, we cannot say for certain what the truth is even by the end of this episode, and it's important to remember that as we continue to ask questions and dig deeper and remain curious, especially when it comes to uncovering the truth, it's not just about one story. It's about taking a step back and looking at the bigger picture, because it is way more complex than we or anybody really realizes.
We're in the Matrix.
And if these topics have sparked something in you, I encourage you to look into them further for yourself and question what you hear, see. Basically, don't take anything at face value. We are just reporting to you what we have found through our research and investigation as internet sleuths. And remember, it is always important to stay respectful and open-minded and careful, very careful, when navigating through these sensitive issues. I know that some of these subjects that we covered today are very distressing, and I want to remind everyone that there is more sides to sensitive issues than just one. And if you know anyone who has been affected by any of these topics as discussed today, please reach out to support groups or professionals who can help you or your friend or family member. We seriously cannot forget that behind every story, these are real people. Real lives. These are not just fictional tales. We're not just telling like some story that we found in a book somewhere. These are real people who live real lives, and that there are real consequences if we were to start spreading information that is not true on the internet, which was what we are not trying to do. We are trying to keep this topic open for discussion. So I would love to hear your thoughts on everything that we discussed today. Do you agree with what we explored? Or do you have a different take on these events? Let's keep the conversation going. So leave your comments or thoughts below in the video comments, and let's continue to ask questions that need answers, and let's keep an open mind here. So ultimately, the journey of Chatterbox is to uncover the truth, and the truth is a shared one. So it's about learning. It's about growing. It's about staying vigilant in the pursuit of transparency. So, thank you for joining us on this very, very big deep dive on the world of Hollywood's darker side and the elites. Until next time, keep questioning, stay safe, and remember that there is always an iceberg that goes miles and miles and miles down into the ocean, and you only see part of the top. You only see the tip of the iceberg.
That is entirely true. Tip of the tube.
Yeah, remember, we just did the tip today, so keep it chatty.
Keep it sweet.
Keep it nice.
Because we will not be
keeping this short, bitch.
No. Damn, she's aggressive. Don't let her talk to you like that.
I just finished my coffee.
She needs to fucking calm down. Tell her that in the comments.
I do need to calm down. Hey, love you guys. Next week we will be discussing more on this topic because there's just too much to cover. Part 2 is coming next week. We love you guys. Stay safe and have a good week.
Love you, babies.
Mwah. Mwah.